The Mariana Trench, what lies in Earth's deepest place. The Mariana Trench is located in the western Pacific Ocean, east of the Mariana Islands, at the boundary between two tectonic plates. At its deepest point, an area called the Challenger Deep, the ocean floor is approximately 10,935 meters below the surface. To put this in perspective, if you placed Mount Everest at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be more than a mile below the surface of the ocean. The deepest place on Earth is so remote that more humans have walked on the surface of the Moon than have visited it. The conditions in the Challenger Deep are hostile to almost every form of life that we understand. The pressure at that depth is approximately 1,086 atmospheres, more than 1,000 times the air pressure at sea level, enough to crush a submarine that was not specifically engineered to withstand it. The temperature hovers around 1 to 4 degrees Celsius, just above freezing. No sunlight penetrates to anywhere near that depth. The last light fades at about 1,000 meters. The environment is dark, cold, crushingly pressurized, and entirely without the photosynthetic energy that drives almost all life on Earth's surface. When the first deep-sea cameras were lowered to the trench floor in the 1950s and 1960s, researchers were uncertain what they would find. The assumption, based on the hostility of the conditions, was that the Challenger Deep would be largely barren. Instead, the images showed life. Sediment on the ocean floor teeming with microbial activity, shrimp-like amphipods in extraordinary numbers, sea cucumbers, polychaete worms, and a fish, the snailfish, living at depths below 8,000 meters, deeper than any vertebrate had previously been recorded. Snailfish, Pseudoliparis swirei at the Mariana Trench and Pseudoliparis believi at the Ural-Kamchatka Trench hold the record for the deepest living fish ever recorded. In 2023, a specimen was filmed at a depth of 8,336 meters in the Japan Trench. These fish are translucent, with soft, gelatinous bodies that would be immediately fatal at the surface, where the sudden decompression would cause their cells to rupture. Their entire physiology is built for pressure that would crush their closest surface relatives. They look, in deep-sea camera footage, like something from another world. The microbial life in the Mariana Trench is potentially even more significant than the visible fauna. Samples of sediment from the Challenger Deep contain microbial communities of extraordinary diversity and density. These microbes drive a chemical ecosystem in the complete absence of sunlight, processing organic material that falls from above and extracting energy from chemical reactions in the rock itself. Some of these microbes belong to groups that have never been seen in other environments. They represent biology adapted to conditions that, on the surface of the Earth, would be considered impossible for life. The chemical ecology of the Mariana Trench is driven largely by marine snow, the continuous fall of organic particles from the upper ocean. Dead organisms, fecal matter, and other biological debris sink over thousands of meters and settle on the trench floor. This creates a concentrated energy source for the trench's inhabitants, who have evolved to extract maximum energy from this trickle of nutrition. The scavenging amphipods that appear in almost every deep-sea image from the trench can detect a food source from considerable distances and arrive in swarms within minutes. Perhaps the most disturbing finding from the Mariana Trench is pollution. In 2018, researchers analyzing amphipods from the Challenger Deep found high concentrations of persistent organic pollutants, PCBs and polychlorinated biphenyls, that were banned decades ago but persist in the environment. The deepest place on Earth, the furthest from human civilization, showed contaminant concentrations comparable to the most polluted rivers in the industrialized world. The trench is so deep that organic material, including pollutants, concentrates there. We have managed to pollute a place that no human has ever visited in person. The Mariana Trench has been visited in person by only a handful of humans. Jacques Pickard and Don Walsh descended in the bathyscaphe Trist in 1960. James Cameron in 2012. Victor Vescovo in 2019, who reached the deepest measured point in the Challenger Deep at 10,928 meters. Each visit has found new things. The trench is so vast and so deep that it remains fundamentally unexplored. We have mapped a fraction of its floor. We have sampled a tiny portion of its sediment. Whatever lives in its most extreme corners, in the conditions that should preclude all life, is still largely unknown to science. The deepest place on Earth is also among its last true frontiers.